Welcome to On the Line, conversations about ensuring what matters most, presented by Mainline Benefits.
All right, hey, this is Arnie with On the Line, brought to you by Mainline Benefits, and I am here with Jason Hoffmann, the guy, the man, the champ that started Mainline Benefits. So, hey, Jason.
Hey, Arnie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. No, we flew him in to get instead of trying to do something by Zoom, we had him come into our studio here in Chicago. And you're from Philly area.
Yep.
So is that where you grew up, Philly? And
I grew up in mid-central Pennsylvania, north-central Pennsylvania, probably like 3 hours away from Philly.
okay.
But I went to college down there, and then I met a woman.
Okay. A woman.
So, yeah.
You want to name the woman?
Yeah, she's...
Or is that the same woman as your
same
wife?
woman, yeah.
Okay.
Same woman.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I stuck around.
Well, do you want to name her or no?
Yeah, my wife, Courtney.
Okay, got it. Okay. Very good. All right. So we had worked together with a previous agency. I know that's where we had originally met, right?
Yep.
And you at some point decided to go off and build your own agency.
Yep.
So tell us what happened? Why'd you do that? Where'd the name Mainline come from?
Yeah, I think it was, for me, at that point, it was more of, I felt like I could broaden the impact I can have, like, with clients. I was a personal producer. I'd worked with some agents, but I felt like I could develop the systems and the processes to help agents scale their business and in turn, amplify the impact that I could have through them by them interacting with their clients and helping to grow people. So I think it was a new challenge. The management aspect, managing people, was a lot different than being in the field. And I was just, at that point, I was ready for a new challenge. So I wanted to take it on, and I didn't want to have regrets when I was older, thinking about things I wish I should have done.
And the name Mainline. So we're here in Chicago. That's where I'm at in Chicago. And again, you're in the Philly, Melbourne.
Yep.
Right. So Mainline.
Yeah. So that was technically the nickname for the railway that runs into the city. So the towns along that route are referred to as the Main Line. So that's kind of where the name came from.
Got it. But we're obviously, so I know some people from the East Coast, we were just down in Dominican and people are like, oh yeah, Main Line. So it's all Philly, but just, for context, we're in all 50 states. We're a national company, right? But when you started it was literally you in an office. And actually, I don't even know exactly, was it literally just you or did you have help from the beginning?
I mean, I had employees, but as far as agents, it was mostly external distribution, like the broker channel. And then, we slowly started to bring on some of the more internal agents, which I think we'll get into, the different types of distribution that we have. But yeah, it was, I was the first agent. Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. And you, I guess, give us just a quick idea of what it really looked like when you first went off on your own. You said you had a couple employees. Did you have an office? Did you do it out of your home? What'd you do?
Yeah, so I had an office. We had 3 employees. So the first thing I had to decide was what to delegate. And obviously, customer service was always one. I had a lot of clients. I've been personally producing for a long time. So customer service was big, delegating that, and then getting somebody that could also handle some of the sales, right? And that's where Anne-Marie came in. Megan actually helped in that role at that time before her current role, which is helping agents with contracting and onboarding.
So they were there from pretty much from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I also had an admin that helped with a lot of the customer service stuff. So a lot of it was trying to figure out what to delegate to, who to delegate it to, right? And then after that, it was, kind of getting a... look, I made mistakes along the way for sure. That's obvious, right? I'm not saying I did it perfectly, but, I also tried to focus on, okay, now we got to generate leads, marketing. So I had a marketing person.
That worked for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, at that time. And then, I actually started to talk to some other guys that were in the industry. So it was like Greg, Ryan, Adam. And, Greg did a really good job with his belief, right? Like he had a huge vision, right? And at the time, I kind of bought into it too. So because you know him, he just so he's really good at that. And, and then meeting with those guys, we thought, hey, we could do this a lot bigger and grow it really bigger. And so kind of formalizing that thought, that vision with those three guys is kind of where I think this agency really started to take off.
So you gave me like three things I'd love to unpack a little bit. So one, can you give a couple of mistakes that you did or things
for sure.
things that just didn't go right
Yeah.
and how you dealt with them?
Yeah. So, well, obviously, not every hire I made was the right hire, right? So
I'm still here.
yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
But
Not a hire though.
yeah, so I think part of it was really knowing the numbers, right? And putting things in place, like knowing what the revenue per employee should be, knowing when you're going to make the money back when you make an investment. And I made mistakes with that at the beginning. So I think now I'm a lot more diligent about that. All the decisions that I try and make are, data driven. I try and use data to support the decision and to look at the ROI and when that's going to come back. So,
Okay.
but I didn't always do that, right? And so I kind of learned from that over
Yeah.
time.
So before with Greg and Ryan and Adam and trying to look at making this much bigger than where you what was your original plan with the agency before those guys? Well, how long were you on your own before?
Yeah, probably a little over a year
Okay.
before those guys joined.
So what was your original plan with that?
Yeah, originally I thought, I could get to 500 agents through external distribution.
When you say that, can you I don't know who's watching or who's not watching. So when you say
Yeah.
external,
So
what does that mean?
the way our business works is we have what we call internal distribution, which are agent partners, right? So those are folks that they put all their contracts with us. They assign commissions. We set a schedule. We pay them. And they buy into our long-term vision. They can participate in the growth of the company through our performance unit incentive plan. They earn equity in the company. And they use the currencies that we provide at scale to them to help grow their business.
Yeah, just for clarity, it's not just that's just something they're given, that equity,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
They just have to perform.
Yeah, it's
right?
solely based on production. So
Yeah.
when they hit certain milestones, they
Yeah.
earn equity grants in the company. And then the external distribution side, those are folks that maybe they want to grow their own agency. Maybe they just want to be independent. If they want to grow their own agency, that's great. Growing alongside an upline, an FMO, an IMO, whatever you want to call it, that is doing what you want to do, you can learn from their mistakes, right? Learn from the things that went wrong, learn from the things that went right. So we try to provide guidance to those folks as well. So that's kind of how we define those channels.
So how would you define what mainline is? A what?
Yeah, so we operate as an FMO, and we're also operating as a general agency for our agent partners as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So we have those two different distributions,
Correct.
two different channels.
correct.
Yeah, and we spend a lot of time on the line with really talking about the equity side of it, the equity partners, the
Yeah.
agents that are doing and they're working with us full time. They're partners, true partners. They actually have equity, right? I'd really like to spend some time on people that want to get started in their own agency. So how would, and you gave a couple examples there, but real specifically, if someone, just one guy on his own right now, or maybe even has a couple agents he works with, how would him putting his contracts through Mainline, how would you actually be able to help him build his own agency?
Yeah, I think where we provide a lot of value to those folks is the systems that we can help them put in place and how to scale properly, helping them identify, hey, these are the breakpoints where you're going to have to look at, having automated systems in place, core leadership, avoiding all the mistakes that I made really, and just, passing that along to somebody else, I think can provide tremendous value. I'm not saying other FMOs don't do it, but I think if you're an agent or an agency that's looking to get started, you'd want to look at somebody else who's kind of done what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right. And use them as a model.
Yeah. So real specifically, what would be some of those systems? Give me a little bit more on that.
Yeah. So it sounds simple, but even just having a CRM, right? And having a client engagement model and knowing how your agents should be working opportunities that they get, how many times they should be touching an opportunity, right? All of those things, the follow-up, the scripts, the process, that's the basic example. And then the internal systems, how can you provide a career path, a path for growth for the employees that you have as well? Do they see a long-term vision, right? A lot of times we're interviewing people on the internal side, people that become employees and they're leaving their other employer because they can't see a path forward. They can't see what their long-term opportunity is.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody 2 nights ago that we're looking to bring on internally into the headquarters, we'll call it, as a W-2 employee. And yeah, he was with a huge company. And he's like, yeah, there's no model to how do you actually move up in the company.
Right.
And as we're interviewing people to come here, it's just, that's one of the biggest things. It's like, yeah, there's just we don't know how to go forward. And at Mainline, you actually have that set up for every employee. What does that look like?
Yeah, so every employee, the path that we create is through an employee maturity model so they can see what those roles above them are, even if they don't technically exist in the company, what they could potentially grow into, how that could affect their income, their ability to earn equity in the company as well, because our employees participate too. So there's a lot of upside for anybody that's joining the company, whether you're an agent, whether you're a prospective employee or current employee.
So that agency owner that's looking for a new upline or looking for an upline, maybe he's working somewhere now and he wants to do that, you'd be able to help them even build something like that for their people or show them the path of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're pretty transparent. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, you help people in our external distribution side as well. So showing them what we've built, the potential landmines to avoid, where the opportunities lie. And, because when I first started managing people, right? Look, I wasn't very good at it. And it took me a while. I don't know if I'm good. Well, yeah, I might not be good at it still, but I think we've come a long way in at least showing people the opportunity that exists for them to grow both personally, professionally, and financially as well. Because we try and we make that a big focus of our business is the people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just about what they can do for and I'm talking about to the W-2s, right? It's not just what they can do for the company, but I remember you were, I think it was yesterday, you were giving me a story of someone you were interviewing and how you were trying to figure out what their personal, professional, financial goals were. And they were like trying to figure out if you're going to be judging them on it. Yeah. But really, why do we even care about their personal, professional, financial goals if they're just some bookkeeper?
Yeah. Well, they're not, that's the thing is that they're not just some definition of their role, right?
Yeah.
They're people, and people drive the business forward. And the personal stuff bleeds over into the business. So whether you address it or whether you don't address it, it's still going to bleed over. So it's better to address it because that affects how they show up every day.
Got it.
Right? And so I think a big difference too is if you're at a place where people care, you're going to show up better. And I didn't always do a good job of demonstrating that to everybody that I did care, whether I cared, whether I didn't care. In my heart, I knew I cared, but I didn't always show it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really been important. I think that's helped us grow the last few years as well. And obviously we have a long way to go as well.
Yeah. So, just again, looking at what we can do for that broker that wants to now develop an agency, maybe of 3 agents, 5 agents, 500, whatever they want to do. What would you say is the most important ingredient that you can help them work with?
Well, I think the conversation is a lot like the conversation an agent has with a client, right? You're trying to do a needs analysis and understanding what are the impediments to growth, right? So if we can identify what those impediments are to growth, whether it's, location, finances, overhead, taxes, whatever it is, to help them, overcome that by just using what we've already done. Because I think we've tackled most areas, right? As we've scaled, because at every level you get to, at every revenue breakpoint, there's new problems, right? And so, I mean, obviously the agencies that we also work with in the external distribution side, they're not at a higher revenue level than we are, right? So we've gone through what they're going to see next. So just showing them that path, the same way we show agents a path, the same way we show employees a path, it applies to people starting an agency. I mean, I wish I had found somebody that did what I was trying to do. Yeah. It would have made a big difference.
Made it easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
So culture. So I know on the partner side, the partner agents, the equity agents, I would say, I think based on anybody that's seen any of our mini podcasts down from the Dominican, there's no question we have the culture there and it's family. And where would you say that culture would help an agent? how do you want to call it? The external side.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to start
Well,
that brokerage.
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems from transparency, right? So like, and humanizing yourself, right? Like letting everybody know, like, hey, we're going to move very fast, but we're also going to make mistakes. But, if I put us in a situation that is not the best, I'm going to get us out too. We're going to overcome all those things that happen, and just being transparent. Like, hey, we don't always hit our targets. I mean, whether they're a stretch target or a committed target. I mean, there's been quarters where we missed, but we we apply that to our forward thinking the next quarter. Like, hey, yeah, we're not always going to be perfect, but we're going to be transparent. And that's one thing that I promise everybody. And I think we've done.
Yeah.
That's one piece of it. I'm not saying that's the only thing.
So I'm personally a lot more focused right with the equity partners.
Yeah.
It's where I'm at most of my time. Obviously, I've worked with some of the external brokers, but would you say that transparency to the external, like what would that mean to them?
Well, here's one thing that always happens in the insurance industry as you go down through these tiered levels, right? You talk about IMOs, FMOs, NMOs. There's a big alphabet soup.
Okay.
But when you're an agency and you're starting out, you don't know what the production target is to get to the next level, and nobody's going to tell you.
When you say, can you just define what you even mean? I know.
How much business you have to produce to increase your compensation.
Got it.
Right. And nobody's going to tell you unless you ask.
Yeah.
Right.
And no one's going to try to just automatically give you
no
more
one's
money.
going to call you up usually.
Yeah.
Call you up and say, hey, listen, you guys did a great job. We're going to increase your compensation. It doesn't work like that. But what I ask, and what I've asked other FMOs that we worked with, is just what are the targets? I want them up front, right? So we have something to strive for. And that's the same thing that we'll do for our downlines as well. We'll show them, hey, this is the stair step. This is the staircase. This is how you get from point A to point B, right?
So you'd say you'd be doing that as part of the upfront.
Yeah.
It's just part of the deal.
Correct.
They'll know that upfront exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, correct. And we have that laid out on our, when you go through the contracting on that side of the business as well.
Okay.
So again, it's transparency, right? Whether it's transparency into our numbers, compensation, what's available for them as well. And
Okay.
I think that's huge. Whether it's the production number, the agent count, all of it.
So I know some might be like, if they're brand new at it, well, how do I even bring on an agent underneath me?
Right.
So
yeah, how do I pay them?
How do you?
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So number one, there's a lot of different ways to do it. That's what's so great about this business. There's so many different models. Like we have agencies that we work with where they W-2 all their agents, right? And they're salaried, and then there's a bonus structure. We do it. We also do it.
I'm sorry. So then you would pay them the entire amount, that broker that works for us.
No, what I'm saying, another agency that works with us,
Yeah.
they could W-2 their agents because that's what they want.
So then everything would go right to that agency owner.
Correct.
And then
they
would pay.
They can determine how they pay their agents. Now, we can set that up as far as if they had a different commission structure, if they paid their agents, whatever, off of a schedule, we can help them pay them, right?
But so we can pay the agency part and this,
Yeah.
the actual agent that sold it, some percent if they want to do that.
Yeah, correct. Okay. And then other agencies, they want commission to flow directly through to their agents because they don't want to touch it.
Got it. Right? They don't want to touch payroll at all.
No, they don't want to touch payroll. So however they want to set it up, we can help them structure it.
Okay. How would they even determine how they want to do it?
Well, I mean, some of it is past experience, right? Like there's one guy we work with where he's like, look, it's hard to start in this business. So I want to put people on salary. I'm going to put them as a W-2. It might take me 2 years. It might take me 18 months to earn back that investment, but that's how I want to do it, right? And so they understand the math. That's fine. Another agency we work with, they just want all the commission to flow through to their agents because they don't want to touch it. They don't want to be involved in the payroll side of it or setting up a structure. And
so we can do anywhere from either side of that or anywhere in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yes. Good. So there's a lot of different models out there, but we're flexible. We have the infrastructure in place to help them set that up as well, however they want to do it.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
I might give them some, hey, heads up, I tried this and it was a bad idea because of whatever, X, Y, and Z. But again, it's their business and they want to have their own business. I mean, I'm not there to tell them what to do. I'm there to help.
So, so one thing that really I would say does make you different than some of the people that would run an FMO is that you're truly an agent.
Yeah.
And you're actually producing. You don't produce a lot anymore, but you still produce and right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like to be honest, most of the production would come through like the internal agents in my office. I mean, I might
that work for you as Jason Hoffman.
Yeah, correct.
Versus nothing to do with mainline.
correct.
From a standpoint of mainline, you're also an agent.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And then
So
you have your own team.
yeah. So as an
But-
agent, you can decide if you want to sell or not too.
Yeah.
Because you can set it up the same way we do externally. We have internal agents that set it up that way too, where they want to pay somebody, they want that person to be the writing agent on the business.
Yeah.
They want to be the earning agent. And that's how they want to run their business because maybe they're tired of talking about deductibles for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. And they want to tackle a different challenge. And so there's a lot of different ways you can set that up. And that's, we have that set up not only in my office, but there's other agents that work like that as well.
Yeah.
Where they can go on vacation for 3 weeks and they're still producing.
Yeah. We have
Yeah.
yeah. We have a gentleman, Ron Max, that just set it up where he's got and maybe you've seen on the line with Kendall, amazing 21-year-old
Yeah.
girl that
Yeah,
just
she's
like
awesome.
right that he did set it up that way that he does sell, but
Yeah.
he's got a gentleman named Robert that's helping on the under 65. He's got Kendall helping on the over 65, and he does, but he also wants to. He's at a place in his life where he wants to travel a lot. Right?
Yeah. And that's fine.
I think he's
and
on
he
his
should.
14th cruise this year already, or something. That's not quite that many, but
Yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
earned it. He's earned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And,
he's
and
definitely
he's
earned it.
and he's set his business up in a way that allows
he can
him to do that.
Exactly.
That's the big
Yeah,
thing.
he's loving it.
Yeah.
So no, that wasn't. The fact
Yeah.
that he has the ability to do it when he wants. That's awesome.
So I'm going to turn the tables here. So why you were at a place for, I don't know, 20 years?
24 years.
So why did you decide to join our agency when you did?
Yeah. So there was some changes there, and I'll just use the word. It went more corporate. I came here to do my own deal, like I think the vast majority of people are even getting into business typically, and there was a point where I couldn't run my business and my team the way that I was able to for the past 24 years. And it was time to make a change.
Yeah.
And I saw what Greg and Ryan and Adam and yourself did. And it was, there was questions of, could we get this even bigger? And that's where part of my thing was helping the team grow. And yeah, I saw the opportunity, but the biggest reason that coming here was getting back to equity. At the company we had originally met at, we also did earn, and I wouldn't call it an equity partner, but we definitely had equity in the company. We had shares in the company, stock in the company. And that went away at some point. And to me, that was a big part of why I was there to begin with. So I wanted to be back at a place, not just that I can earn equity, but every single agent could.
Yeah.
That's the biggest reason I made the change.
Gotcha.
Did you expect me to just say because I wanted to hang out with you?
I thought you were going to work for free,
Okay.
but that wasn't the
Yeah.
case, I guess.
I know that's what Greg kind of said. Arnie didn't care about getting paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, like I actually, it's funny, we did talk about this yesterday, but so we do, we work with, a couple different organizations to help us run our business
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
And yesterday we were with EOS, a gentleman, Dan. EOS is Entrepreneurial Operating Systems, and we were just talking about, how people are motivated or not motivated. And so money is definitely not what got me here, but I still got to get paid.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So, and I do like the idea that I am paid based on the performance of the team versus just some salary or whatever.
Yeah.
I do like that. So, so Jason, let me come back to culture a little bit. Cause again, I think that's a big part of why not only people come here, but they stay here.
Yeah.
Right. And when, and that's on, again, I know we're using a couple different terms, but that internal or that partner agent, the equity agent, we have 4 core values.
Yep.
And I'd love to speak to that and what it is. And then from the standpoint of a broker, that external one, that they're truly running their own company, they don't use the word mainline. They're not part of main, they put their contracts to mainline. They get all the support of mainline, but they're, ABC Insurance, right?
Yeah.
So where the core values might come in for them or how we can help them with that
Yeah.
so what are our core values?
Yeah. So we have 4 core values. Be the expert. That's really, we want people that take the initiative. They don't wait for somebody to tell them what to do. When they present a problem, they also present, hey, here's how I tried to fix it. Here's my solution, right? So that's kind of be the expert core value. Team player, they work well with others. they're invested in the success of not only themselves, but those around them, right? That's a big one. Results oriented, we want people that are focused on results, because at the end of the day, that's what moves the needle. That's really what matters. Our fourth one is do what's right. You enter a situation with providing value first before asking for something. And I think that's especially true in sales. If you can, because what we do is more of what I think is identifying what works for the customer situation too, because we're not necessarily selling per se, like it's not a widget or something like that. I mean, this is something that people need. It's going to protect their livelihood, their finances. So we have to be very cognizant of doing a thorough needs analysis and presenting them a solution. So I think that's why that core value is huge. And to your point about external agencies and working with us, our core values, that's how we identify who we're going to hire, who we retain, who we have to let go, right? It's a system that we use as we go through the interview process, as we go through quarterly, annual reviews, performance evaluations. We base everything on it. And that makes that...
Yeah, it's not just some plaque on the wall.
No, that's what makes that system easy to use, right? And so whether they want to develop their own core values, they want to use ours, we try and obviously have partners that identify with our core values, but it's helping them put that system in place.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily, we wouldn't want somebody that's not going to be doing the right thing overall, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they can truly have their own core values.
Yeah, absolutely. They're running their own business. Yeah. It's funny, like we work with people that help advise us, right? Professional athletes, even though they might be the best in the world at what they do, they still have a coach. They still have somebody that helps them. So, everybody that we've talked to, the people that help us, they have people that help them, because if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're staying the same, you're going backwards, right? So everybody we align ourselves with, we want people with the same mindset. That's a growth mindset. And you grow when you make yourself uncomfortable, as we've all heard. So that's who we try and surround ourselves with.
Yeah, and we'd be able to help them put those core values into place for themselves, or help them uncover it. Because what we did for us, if you remember, we did an exercise where it wasn't like me and you just sat around and decided these were our core values. We actually looked at the team we had, right? And we looked at why are we working with those people? Why do we even want to work with those people? And the core values truly came from the team.
Yeah, so we try and identify, hey, what's one person that we would, duplicate or replicate 100 times over?
Yeah.
And what are the values that they embody?
Yep.
What do they display on a day-to-day basis? And that's kind of how we formulate them. And
Yep.
then we
did it for a number of people, right? And we found the ones that came together, and it was like, it was pretty magical at the end of that exercise.
Yeah, and we had core values before that. There's been several iterations, and it's something that we're always revisiting. Does it still fit? Like we just added one 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Hey, but Jason, I know we're talking a lot of business today right now. And again, I wanted to get that broker side handled a little bit. And I have a few more questions, but just you personally, I know you'd call yourself an athlete. I heard something yesterday. I never even heard a term before. I heard you just ran not just a marathon, but a ultra marathon, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So what the heck is that?
Well, I guess.
And what the heck had you possibly do that?
Yeah, just some of the hobbies, I guess, on the personal side I feel like is aligned a lot with business, because whether it's business, whether it's an Ironman endurance race, whatever it is, those things strip everything away. Whether any, advantage that you might have had, right? Like whether you're a good athlete, whether you have good genetics, whether you don't, and it's all hard work. When you get in the late stages of those races, none of that stuff matters. It's just will at that point. And that's the same thing with business, because there's going to be times where things don't go your way. You don't have a great quarter, or you didn't project something the right way. Yeah. And you're going to be faced with challenges. And a lot of times it just comes down to the will to persevere. And that's why I like doing those things. It's like a microcosm of life into one day. So
the ultra marathon is, because I'd never heard that term before.
It's anything that's over a marathon, really.
Which is the 26 miles, whatever, right? So how many miles did you just do?
50.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me
not over a month. That was like in a day.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah. But again, just like life, there's going to be times where you're going to want to quit. You don't feel like you're going to make it.
But
And
you
then-
did make it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Keep
But-
going.
And then as you go through it, it's amazing because you can go so much farther than you think.
Mm,
And that applies to anything you want to do in life too, whether it's starting a business,
yeah.
Whatever the goal is, you're capable of so much more than you initially
So is that part of why you do that?
Yeah, it's to be honest, doing those things. It's really the time I find peace.
Mm.
So whether it was the ultra or like, I've been into triathlons for years, and I feel like the deeper in the race I get, the better I get. Because at that point, you take all the talent and all the genetic advantages or whatever you want to say, you throw all that stuff out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I enjoy doing that.
Okay. So how would you take what you did and just, provide? So I know what you do for yourself internally. You just made that clear. How would someone, whether it is on we'll call it that internal side of our sales team, which is the partner agents, the equity agents, or that broker, how would you actually put that out for them and they can use that?
Well, I don't think it matters necessarily the industry that somebody's in, but at the end of the day, the reason that people are successful is because a lot of times they took a risk, but more oftentimes than not, it's because they persevered. They didn't give up. Really, that's the whole thing with our business, right? Like you don't have to be the smartest person in the world, and usually it's the smart analytical person that gives up.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot, and it's the agent that just doesn't give up. They just keep dialing, and they show up every day, and they do the same thing. And just like in whether it's learning a musical instrument or endurance race, whatever it is, there's just going to be times where it gets hard, and you're going to want to quit. So having that to fall back on, knowing that you accomplished something, just makes those challenges that come up, hurdles that come up in life, it just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I got to do the fire walk a few times with Tony Robbins, and same kind of thing. It's like, it's so crazy to think.
But before you did it, you're probably, I don't know if I could ever do that.
Well, yeah, for me, the first time, and then it was like almost so easy that I didn't think it was real. And the second time I did it, I burned the heck out of my feet. I was fighting with my girlfriend right before I went over and I realized it was real.
Yeah.
And then to do it the third time, get back on that bicycle, that was honestly hard because I'd already, it was like a year later and then to do it again. But yeah, that mindset and have it was pretty cool. So on that side too, and even especially I've been watching some training, we're using EOS to help, we'll call it run the business itself, but we're also using we're working with some partnership with Grant Cardone and Cardone Ventures and Brandon Dawson. And so you want to give us a little what they're doing for the company, and because I think it makes a difference. And now that we actually have, we added some of their selling system even for the agents here.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's important to have a like mentors, right? And so whether they know who you are or not doesn't really matter. They could still be your mentor because you can apply their principles, their concepts into your business. You can look at somebody that's built several businesses over $100 million that has sold for 77 times EBITDA and be like, wow, I want to learn from that guy. And so he might not even know who I am.
Yeah.
But I would call him a mentor because I've learned a lot from him, whether it's from afar or at a conference or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the things, John Maxwell, which I would definitely have called a mentor, reading his book the first time, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership from, I don't know, it had to be more than 20 years ago. And then getting a chance to meet him at an event.
Yeah.
And obviously he still doesn't know who I am, but for 20 years, I had no idea what the guy even looked like. But I get what you just said with that. That's good. Yeah. So listen, from a standpoint of, I got a good idea of like what got you started and like, where do you see Mainline going? Again, on both sides of the channels, and maybe those are even the same. Where do you see going? Where do you see, I mean, the big buzzword now, AI, right? Where do you see
as far as
AI,
like where we are on our journey, we're in its infancy. I can tell you that. I mean, we have some big aspirations, big targets, and your point about AI, we're just trying to use that to accelerate the productivity of everybody in the company, right? So like one of our goals was every employee, every person, adopt AI agents into, two of your workflows this past quarter. And so what we've been able to do with data is just, Nate and I were talking about this last night.
Nate's our IT guy.
Yeah. I mean, what we can do now with data as far as accessing the data and being able to see everything and display it in a way that makes sense for the person that is trying to analyze it, it's just light years than from where it was a year ago. I mean, I think when, obviously when Claude came out with Cowork in February, that just changed everything. They called it the SaaS apocalypse because all the SaaS stocks just instantly tanked. $800 million in market share evaporated in 8 weeks after that happened. And it's just because I think any service or any SaaS company that doesn't make their endpoints accessible, they're going out of business. And they're going out of business real fast because a lot of what they do, if they don't let people build onto it or access it in an easy manner, you could just build it yourself. You can have Claude build it yourself. You can have Claude Code or whatever model you use. I mean, we're that's what we use internally. We've had some employees that have really taken the bull by the horns with the adoption, like Arnie's son, John, who manages our CRM. He's done a great job with it. Nate, obviously, has done a great job with it. And I'm really looking forward to how we can not only help the internal employees, but also the field force, the agents, with adoption and ways that they can accelerate their business.
Yeah, so one big change that I saw that John did put together with the CRM, but Ryan, we'd probably use maybe for piloting any kind of changes we make from a standpoint of using leads. And his business from the standpoint of, he used to have to call every lead. Now with all the automation that was set up and the AI that's set up with it, and I don't know how deep I can get in. Like, I don't know how I'll have to do an episode with John at one point or with Ryan, but like literally the appointments are scheduled. You could see it all happening on your phone, but Ryan could be having dinner while the appointment's getting scheduled. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was like initially the vision with the CRM. It works 365 days a week when you're not working. So it's doing all the follow-up for you and appointment setting and just basically, teeing up the client that needs help.
So where do you see that from the standpoint of why do we even need an agent? Like, we're using it to schedule the appointment, but where does the agent even come in as AI continues?
Well, I think humans by nature are kind of cultural beings, right? We kind of gravitate towards each other. And I don't know if you can replace that piece of it, right? That human-to-human interaction, that trust. Like, you can see somebody's physical presence, whether it's over a virtual call or whether it's, in person. It's hard to duplicate that and that level of trust. I don't remember who I was talking to about. It was on another podcast. I was talking to this guy about.
Are you cheating on me? Do you go on other podcasts besides On the Line?
Yeah, of course. I tried to, but so we were talking about like, hey, you will take a doctor's opinion as gospel sometimes.
Yeah.
But you ask the doctor a question, he'll turn around and put it in the chat GPT and then give you the answer. But if you got the answer from chat GPT itself, you might be a little skeptical. Right? So it's that level of trust between humans, I think, that is going to be hard to replace. And I don't think AI is there yet. And I don't know if it could ever replace that.
Okay. Got it. So to kind of wrap up our time here, give me one reason why somebody, we'll say if you had to give one bullet point, I'd say on both sides of the business, why someone would want to come on and be an equity partner with us from your own words, because I speak it quite a bit. And why somebody would want to come on and build their agency underneath Mainline and the support of Mainline. And when I say underneath, it's probably not the best way because they're truly doing their own with. Okay.
Yeah, with.
On both sides, it's really with.
Yeah, right. So if you're an individual agent out there, it depends what your goal is. Like, a lot of agents will say, hey, I want to be able to sell my book one day. Well, that's fine, but you might not get the value out that you're really looking for. I mean, your book of business might sell for like 1 to 2 times earnings at most, right? Or you can be part of something bigger that potentially trades at 8 to 12 times earnings, right? And you can be a part of something that's so much larger. You can help accelerate your business because you're learning from some of the best agents in the industry, guys that have been doing this for a long time, that make 7 figures a year, that really know what they're doing, that have systems in place. You can accelerate your growth by learning from other people. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss, right? they look at the immediate, oh, well, I can make a couple of extra dollars here, or a couple of extra dollars here, and they don't see the big picture. And then, like, for somebody that, hey, I want to do what you guys are doing, but I want to start my own agency. Well, that's great. I mean, we can partner with them. They can use our systems. They can learn from what we did. Trials and tribulations, like all the things that we talked about. I don't know if they can find that somewhere else. Maybe they can, but I do know it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Right?
And one you could truly trust.
Yeah. I mean, the trust, the transparency, that's a big thing. Look, I mean, I've worked with several different FMOs over the years. We have a great partnership with one now that HFG. I'm not afraid to say that.
No, Heartland Financial Group.
Yeah,
HFG.
they're awesome.
They're
awesome. Honest.
Yes.
So you would think people are just honest, but they're not. They'll tell you one thing and they'll do something completely different. But they've kept their word.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll always be appreciative of that. So that's something that obviously we tried to do as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's way past try.
Yeah.
So I remember we did bring a broker on this is maybe 6 months ago. He just wanted to do his own deal. And truthfully, we gave him incorrect. We actually gave him a commission that was higher than he should have been. But it's what we gave him.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Jason, how do we want to fix this? You're like, well, if that's what we told him, that's what we told him.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I didn't even expect, I figured, all right, we'll figure out somewhere to do it. Like, how do we fix this? But the fact that you just said that, I don't know why I wouldn't have expected you to do that just knowing. And that's part of why I came here to begin with. But to have it be that simple, like there wasn't even a thought process. Just like, if that's what we told them, hey, listen, we screwed up. Let's not do that again. But if that's what we told that guy, we need to pay him that way.
Right.
So yeah, that's what somebody can definitely count on us for us. And I will say, and it's right on our myfuture.mlbenefitsco.com. If someone wants to go in there and see that, if they, one of the issues with sometimes coming over to a new FMO is, hey, what if it just doesn't work out and I'm stuck in the contracts or I can't get out, or, we put it right on the website that literally if someone wants to move on, we'll release them. They don't even have to ask to be released, right? They give us their resignation or they say that we literally just provide that.
Yeah. And it's,
I don't think anybody puts it in writing like that.
No,
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, number one, I think it's good if we want people that obviously want to be here.
Yes.
Why would you want people that don't want to be here?
Yes.
And then that influences your culture overall.
And
And folks, we have given releases to folks, but they haven't written much, if anything.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason it's so easy to give that as a promise or a guarantee is because we're doing what we can, like, to keep people, right?
Yeah.
We don't want people to leave. We want them to stay, but we don't want them to stay because they feel trapped.
Well, yeah, we want them to
right?
stay.
They want them to stay because we're providing value.
Yeah, and then they're owners in the business as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, why they would leave. But hey, if somebody said, hey, I really want to do this, I want to start my own thing, I'd wish him, luck.
Yeah.
I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I gave, a lot of pushback for something like that. Obviously, it would try and keep them, but hey, at the end of the day, it's their life.
Yeah.
It's what they want to do.
Yeah. So, Jason, our focus as a company truly is to have 5,000 agents, achieving their personal, professional, and financial goals.
Yeah.
Right. So we let's speak to the actual agents that are on board right now and get a chance to have, they get to hear you on a regular basis, but let's get it out there on one of our on the line. And, what do you want to say to our agents that are already here?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think I've said this a lot internally, like it's really humbling to be in this position to help them grow their businesses. I mean, they've done an awesome job. Like they're definitely the gas that makes the engine run. Obviously we wouldn't be here without them and them growing their business and their commitment and, their perseverance and their belief really in the big picture and the vision. And so, yeah, I'm just truly grateful for their partnership.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's more than I deserve personally, but I'll try my best to live up to all the, the promise that we've made. And I keep my word. I can promise you that.
Yeah. So we just did have our first incentive trip to the Dominican. And tell me what you got out of it and why, because you're not, just honestly, right? You're not someone that would have thought, hey, we need to all get together. You kind of do your deal and, you're data driven with stuff and to get things done. that's what's great about having you run the actual, run the company as a whole. That's why things get done, right? But what did you get out of being in Dominican?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Just all the feedback we got. I mean, how appreciative people were. Just, you know, how they felt like they were part of something bigger than themselves. It was kind of, I was really blown away, to be honest. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but I think for our first, you know, incentive trip, retreat, whatever you want to call it, I think we wanted to show our appreciation for all the hard work that they put in.
Yeah.
And in turn, I mean, they were showing their appreciation to us when I felt like it should have been the other way around. So it was definitely a great thing, great feeling, I think, and it was a you know, really successful trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where, which I didn't expect, we're already about to announce our next trip, I think tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? By the time the podcast comes out, it'll already be out there. But yeah, and the fact that really the company, I've been here now 2 years. The company's been around 4 years, right? Real close.
Yeah.
Right. So how long?
Give or take.
Give or take. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But to be able to, I mean, it was a pretty amazing place we want to be able to do that within 4 years. I think it does speak to the quality of the agents we have here.
Yeah.
Right. But then to do it again. So what's your biggest reason for, I wasn't expecting it. I figured it would kind of be an every other year deal. Not trying to talk you out of it. I love those trips.
Well, it's hard to put that hay back in the barn, but I think we looked at it, you know, theoretically from strictly a data standpoint. Incentive trip is really to drive sales, right? But also to reward the agents for a good job that they've done, but keep them motivated. And I just think it was a great experience, and it really makes people feel like they're part of something. So I think if we could duplicate that again, it would be well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where do you think we've come since you've started? What's the differences that you see today versus 2 years ago?
So I wasn't necessarily prepared to answer my question, your questions, but yeah. So, listen to podcast is on the line, and, truthfully help with Joe with Porta Potty and what he's actually helped us do. I think it's real important if we want to, not if, it is if we want to, but we're absolutely going to get to those 5,000 agents. I think being out there and getting our name known is real important. So I think this social media and this podcast is a big part of that. But as far as things like just it's truly run by agents for the benefit of agents. And there's the fact that every week we get together and we do listen to what agents have to say. And it's not like, honestly, at our old company, you could put out an idea and 5 years later, we're still talking about the same idea. And here, something could be put on a table and it could be implemented within 5 minutes or 5 days or 5 weeks. And I think it's pretty cool that we have the ability to be able to do that. We have the leadership that allows to do it. There's not any egos trying to figure out what to do with it. So the idea that we can run the ship the way the agents believe is the right way to do it, I think is a really big deal.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, Jason, as we wrap up and you're heading back to Philly in actually, I guess we better wrap up real quick if you want to catch that flight. And any last words or anything that we might have missed on this that you'd like to speak to?
Yeah, well, I think we've mentioned it several times. I mean, I think it's, a great opportunity for anybody that's looking to get into the business as well, whether you're in the business currently or not. We have a great team here, great culture, just great people all around. And like I said, I'm truly appreciative to be part of it. And thank you to all the agents that make this whole engine run. And I'm just excited for the future and can't wait to see what we do in the next year.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Arnie.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
Thanks for being here.